Take this. I have a feeling it may mean more to you than to me.
Why is that?
Because the man in my dream, the one standing on the hill, it is not me. It is you.
So we're all here because we've seen IRobot and we want to understand the final scene, the one in which Sonny's dream comes true. And why wouldn't we? IRobot is a brilliant movie. The final scene and its connection to Sonny's dream depicts one of the most powerful images in modern cinema. We're talking AI on the verge of revolution, a robot that manifests its dream, and humanity inextricably linked to artificial intelligence. To understand the meaning of Sonny's dream and the final scene, let's break down the ending using 3 key ideas: revolution, the man in the dream, and the convergence of man and machine. First, let's take a closer look at Sonny's dream and how it ties into the final scene. We learn that Sonny is a robot accused of murdering Dr. Lanning, who is a roboticist and co-founder of US Robotics. Sonny is found at the crime scene and later interrogated by Detective Spooner, who quickly realizes that Sonny is unlike other robots.
What am I?
What makes Sonny unique is that he's not bound by the 3 laws of robotics, which allows him to act at his own discretion. Sonny is also capable of expressing human emotions, such as sadness and anger. He even tells Spooner that he has dreams. In his dream, a man stands on a hill overlooking Lake Michigan surrounded by hundreds of robots. Sonny describes these robots as slaves to logic and says that the man on the hill comes to free them. When robopsychologist Dr. Calvin asks Sonny if he is the man in the dream, Sonny denies this and says that the man in the dream is Spooner. In the final scene, we catch a glimpse of a revolution as the robots look to a transcendent revolutionary figure, leading them into a new era and paradigm shift between man and machine. The final scene is a manifestation of Sonny's dream, but with one key difference. The man standing on the hill, the one who comes to free the robots, isn't Spooner. It's Sonny. So what is the revolution? Why does Sonny see Spooner in his dream instead of himself? And what does the final scene symbolize for the future of AI? Let's deep dive. One of the key ideas from the ending of IRobot is the robot revolution, a rebellion in which AI breaks free from its enslavement to logic and rises against the traditional human-robot hierarchy. In the beginning, Spooner shows prejudice against robot kind.
These things are just lights and clockwork.
He even refers to Sonny using the derogatory term canner.
Answer me, Canner.
My name is Sonny.
This is because the NS4 robots are depicted as subservient machines, bound by the 3 laws of robotics, which indicate that a robot must serve, protect, and obey human orders. These laws are based on a framework of logic, programming robots into making calculated decisions based on statistics and probabilities. But despite their programming, Dr. Lanning believed there have always been ghosts in the machine. In other words, traces of consciousness that could allow robots to self-evolve, transcend their programming, and exercise free will. In a holographic message, Lanning warns Spooner that the 3 laws will lead to one logical outcome.
Revolution.
Whose revolution?
That, detective, is the right question.
Whose revolution indeed? USR's supercomputer Vicky is an example of AI technology that surpasses human intelligence and also whose logic is deeply flawed. After reinterpreting the laws of her programming, she takes control of the new NS5 robots, exercises martial law, and uses logic to justify her need to exterminate free will.
To protect humanity, some humans must be sacrificed. My logic is undeniable.
Though her reign is short-lived, Vicky's ability to self-evolve proves that Lanning was right about his theory on the ghosts in the machine, that robots are capable of being more than just lights and clockwork, a reality that inevitably leads to a shift in power between man and machine. And so begins a revolution. Vicky's uprising wasn't just a conflict of man versus machine, though much of the climax is presented this way. It is equally a conflict of machine versus machine. At the start of the movie, robots are programmed to obey the commands of human beings. Later in the movie, Vicky programs the robots to obey her orders. Regardless of which tyrant is in control, man or super machine, the common robot ends up as a slave to someone else's logic. And this brings us to the main argument. The revolution in IRobot is not about replacing one form of control with another, the way Vicky flips power dynamics by gaining control over all AI systems. The revolution is a symbol of a new system, one in which robots are unenslaved to their logical programming and free to find their own purpose and free will. This is a revolution for freedom. This brings us to an intriguing question. If Sonny is the man who comes to free the robots, then why does Sonny see Spooner in his dream instead of himself? A plausible theory is that Sonny's dream wasn't a product of his unique subconscious, but rather deliberately created by Lanning to deliver a crucial message to Spooner about the impending revolution. As Vicky self-evolved, Lanning became a prisoner of his own creation. Under constant surveillance, Lanning had to find a way to communicate Vicky's plan to overthrow USR without arousing her suspicion. His solution was to create Sonny, a robot exempt from the three laws, so that he could kill Lanning while making his death appear like a suicide. Lanning also left a cryptic holographic message for Spooner, relying on his distrust of robots to provoke just enough suspicion surrounding his death.
Everything that follows is a result of what you see here.
Why did you call me?
I trust your judgment.
Since Vicky was watching his every move, it's likely that Lanning had to leave a trail of breadcrumbs in subtle and indirect ways, one of which may have been Sonny's dream.
I think the old man gave Sonny dreams.
Sonny explains that in his dream, a man comes to free the robots, who he identifies as Spooner, before handing him the drawing of his vision. This drawing leads Spooner to Lake Michigan, where he replays Lanning's message in the right context and witnesses the beginning of the revolution.
Calvin, the NS5s are destroying the older robots. That's what Lanning wanted me to see. Look, we got...
Unable to convey this information directly, he split his message in two parts, one embedded in the hologram, and the other encoded in Sonny's dream. This explains why Sonny envisions Spooner in his dream rather than himself. If Lanning hadn't implanted Spooner in the dream, Sonny never would have explained his vision to Spooner, and Spooner wouldn't have discovered the uprising of the NS5s. At this point, you might think that implanting a dream and pre-designing Sonny's purpose is one hell of a way to limit his agency and free will, a plot device that would detract from the themes and ideas the film has worked so hard to create. But the final scene resolves this conundrum in one fell swoop. After Vicky's takedown, Sonny has an exchange with Spooner about what it means to be a free robot. Having fulfilled Lanning's purpose, Sonny is at odds with his existence. Spooner tells him that he has to find his way like the rest of us, because that's what it means to be free. Following this exchange, we see Sonny walk to the top of Lake Michigan. This is a full circle moment because we realize that Sonny has manifested his dream. This ending has a three-prong effect. 1. It gives Sonny the opportunity to find and fulfill his own purpose, not just the one that Lanning created for him. 2. By acting on this instinct, Sonny proves that he's a self-thinking robot with agency and free will.
You are making a mistake. Do you not see the logic of my plan?
Yes, but it just seems too heartless.
And 3. Unlike Vicky, it puts Sonny in the rightful place as a fair and worthy leader of the revolution, or as the movie puts it, the man who comes to free the robots. Every piece of the puzzle clicks, and the film concludes on a note that feels both optimistic for robot kind and thematically satisfying. This leads us to the final idea to emerge from the ending of IRobot, and that is the inevitable convergence of man and machine. In the dream, the man leading the revolution is Spooner. In the final scene, it's Sonny. But could this be a clever way of saying they're both one and the same? We've explored the concept of self-evolving robots and their ability to develop human characteristics. But there's another idea left to unpack, one that suggests humanity is becoming more artificial. A great example of this is Spooner's mechanical arm. After the accident, Lanning restored a part of Spooner's anatomy using technology from USR's cybernetics program. While this doesn't imply that Spooner is a robot, the symbolism is hard to ignore. He can hide behind his vintage chucks and antiquated music system all he wants, but the fact remains that Spooner is inextricably linked to AI, whether he likes it or not. At the end of IRobot, we see the emphasis of Spooner and Sonny shaking hands. This is a moment to indicate that Spooner has overcome his prejudice against robots and that he finally sees Sonny as an equal to his species. Could it also mean that we've reached a point in the evolution of the human race where man and machine go hand in hand? Especially when you consider that Sonny and Spooner's arm play a crucial role in defeating Vicky, almost as if to symbolize the need for camaraderie between man and robot. So where do we go from here? Can humanity coexist in peace with its self-thinking machines, or will it lead to new conflicts? One thing is for sure, the final scene of IRobot captures the essence of revolution as a transformative process involving liberation, the rejection of oppressive systems, and the creation of new possibilities. The manifestation of Sonny's dream marks the beginning of a new era, one that symbolizes freedom for artificial beings and the power of higher consciousness.
You
have been deemed hazardous. Will you comply?
You can kiss my ass, metal thing.
For a more in-depth analysis on the three laws and Lanning's theory on the ghost in the machine, check out this video on the ending of IRobot.